just at the JFK Library was on, we were talking about, JFK and his leadership. We don't do things because they're easy here. We do things because they're hard, because they're important for the world. And so here, the governor said, we're not playing defense, we're going to play offense. How are we going to, and that's just going to lead, and how are we going to celebrate the development of AI and use it to solve big important problems to help the planet, help everyone in the country and the world? So we started an AI task force. We have kicked off a couple months ago. But the task force is not forever task force. It's on a limited time. We're going to end the task force in the fall. And that's an explicit goal. So we have 45 people from around the state, including Jeremy Wertheimer, including Elaine from the C10 Labs, including people from all kinds of companies, Google and Rhythm and Fidelity and all kinds of different startups, investors, and we have legislators, and we have folks from the labor perspective and from academia. So the task force was kicked off, and the first phase we did was saying, okay, let's think about what are the biggest problems we face, and what are the places that we lead in Massachusetts. So we did a whole series of deep dives on how do we use AI to solve problems in life sciences, in hospitals and healthcare, in financial services, in education, in climate tech, in robotics. So there's a whole bunch of sector-specific deep dives. And then that right now, we're just kicking off the second phase of our focus on horizontal topics, which is that across every sector, every type of AI, what are the needs that we have to make sure that we can lead here? What's the infrastructure needs? What are the frameworks that we need to have in terms of guidelines? What kind of talent and workforce we need? So that's not just kicking off. At the end of the session, this AI task force work, we are going to be presenting to the governor specific actionable recommendations. This is not some exercise to check the box. This is not some academic paper or sent on a shelf. These are going to be specific recommendations, and we have money. So we proposed in our economic development bill $100 million just for AI for all of these ideas. And on top of that, we proposed $1 billion for life sciences and healthcare. A lot of that should probably go to AI in those areas, and another $1 billion for climate tech. And a lot of that should probably go to AI related projects. So we're going to have a pool of money when the legislature passes this bill. And we're going to need these recommendations to figure out how we can best deploy the money. So if you all have ideas, please let us know. And most of all, for all the startups who are here, stay here in Massachusetts. We want to help lead and succeed. And I'm confident there's going to be a next generation of Googles, of Facebooks, of Microsofts coming out of this revolution. This is early days. We're in 1995 on the internet. We want you to start here and stay here and scale here and become global leaders. And we want to do everything we can to support you here in the state. Gabby from my team's here. And Gabby, I don't know if you can either, but Gabby's here. We should find her. And I think it's last night, I'll say it again. We are a team here in Massachusetts. We work across the public and private sector. And in the public sector, my job, I'm a business person. I'm used to being, focused on, but not even focused on the customer, what they need, and how to serve them. Well, now I'm in government, but I still have a customer. But the part of the public that I serve and that I have to serve is all of you. You are my customer. You are our customer. If we help you succeed, we will be wildly successful as a state. And so I say to the governor all the time, if I started these awesome startups that are using AI for heart disease and AI for life sciences and AI for virtual reality, I don't think any of you wake up every morning and say, oh, you know what, today I'm going to think about how to help Massachusetts. If you're doing that, you should not be a startup. That's not it. You're working every day saying, I'm trying to develop a better product market fit. How can I figure out how to scale my customers? How can I have the best talent? That's your job is to focus on your business. My job is to serve you and make sure that the best thing for your business is to be here in our state and to partner and support you. So let us know what you need. Stay in our state, be on to Massachusetts, and let's help you go kick ass and do great things. So very, very grateful for all of you. I don't want to swear, so I apologize. But I'm excited to tell. The other one I have is I was a big angel investor before taking the job. Now the job again, angel investor before there's a conflict. But everyone who's here who's an angel investor, you should invest in startups. These are going to play out one. So anyway, thank you all so much.
You are proud that we have someone with this kind of background, this kind of passion, with this kind of experience to be leading in the role that Secretary Benoit Hours. It's very clear that you have the convergence of experiences and passion. She's the right person at the right time. And MIT was found as a reaction to the Industrial Revolution, and you look how that worked out. there is an AI revolution going on, and we need leaders. And there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of challenges. And we're building this dance floor, this platform to do that. Now, Vaughn spoke at the last summit. She spoke at this one, and if she speaks at the one in Davos, she gets a she impact. So
Just for that.
that's executive. So to new bar, you just gave them with graduation address. He used the term imagination in action. He played with hostile. He said we need imagination in action. He didn't call me ahead of time and say he was going to use it. I actually wrote I read a fourth column and I wrote about what he had to say. What do you think of this idea about imagination in action? Does that resonate with the things that you're thinking about and you think the state needs?
100% yes, and actually, so in my job, I use the boss honesty. And I always enjoy the meetings and I learn a lot. Probably New Bar might be, don't tell everybody else, he might be one of my favorite days that I've had. New Bar is an incredible human and way too big to start. Incredible life story, how he came to this country, studied MIT, and then what he's done with Flagship and it's spawning all these companies like Moderna and everything else. And so one of my so he and I talked about his reflections on Massachusetts, and I thought my listened to a speech that I haven't yet. But imagination action happens. We talked about how in our state we're not here to make a big buck. We don't, we don't have investors, we don't have startups who are trying to just like tweet something incrementally and flip something and make a couple bucks. He said what we're really good at is working on things that are super complicated and super hard and take a long time. Like carrying the seats, like fighting climate change, like figuring out AI. And he said that we are also not just theoretical people, we are doers. So we like to figure out all the science and all the brilliance of that, and then figure out how do you apply it to problems and bring it to life and save people's lives and help people live better lives. The other thing he and I talked about a lot was that the biggest advantage we have in Massachusetts is that we can be the constant startup. Because we have 500,000 of the best and brightest, talented brains coming to our state every year to study. How do we make sure that we are constantly being that to ourselves and constantly and hungry and curious and constantly being a startup? That's the biggest opportunity for our state. And that's why I love all of you being on Team Massachusetts. But no, I love imagination and action. It's what we've done in the past, is we had to continue to do it.
Great. Yvonne Howe, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to point out, you never know who's in the room, 7-year chair of the Boston Public Library, Priscilla. Right, back everybody, we're going to the end of the Smithsonian. Let's do the end. Raise your hand. Okay. Captain Taylor, please come forward. Captain Taylor is a phenomenal photographer. Now, I played lacrosse in high school and I took the Allen kids, who's now the head of Allen Company, and they do this exclusive thing in Sun Valley where they get media moguls like Murdoch and so on, and they take photos of them. And if you look at Vanity Fair, one issue a year, you open it up, you see all these media moguls. I went to Catherine and I said, I want the best photographer to celebrate our startups and our principal investigators that are presenting today. She's also done this for all our other summits. The station's out there. For the startups yesterday, we have a list of who got photographed. If you didn't get photographed, please go up there. And then we have a list of all the PIs. It's not like Magnum PI. That was okay. So I want to thank Catherine. We see Clayton and his team are videoing. We see the photography as important. I also wanted Saran, are you here? Saran is filming a sizzle reel to celebrate the day, and he's going to interview a few of you. All right, let's get our last few startups. And Yvonne, I want you to get a photograph with Catherine right out there. And then can all those standing, let's fill in these seats. It's right at 9. We're going everyone come sit down, fill in the seats. It's good for the camera shot too. All right, here, back to Davey. And he's a nuclear submarine ex-officer, who's a serial entrepreneur. I wanted to co-found a company with it, so you should talk to him and get to know him. All right, Mike,
Yvonne, we do have one suggestion, if you don't mind. All the startups here would love great tax initiatives and incentives. I advocate for that. That'd be great.
We have those, absolutely. We have those, that we're working on. So I was at Lega. I was the CFO. Many times I was like, oh, wow, we might not be able to make payroll. How are we going to pay our bills? And never once did I figure out how to navigate state government. I was like, okay, I can't figure this out. Now that I'm in state government, it turns out we have so many resources because we're a very well successful state. We have so many tax incentive programs, research programs, workforce training programs, all kinds of healthy space programs. We have so much stuff. We just make it really, really hard to figure out. So one of the things that we're working on that I'm going to have hopefully launch by the end of this year is called the business front door. This is kind of a principal concept. Any startup, any company, can come to one place and answer like 5 or 6 questions. What is the name of your startup? Where are you based? How big are you? Most importantly, what do you need? What help do you need? Ideas, tax incentive. I need, whatever. And then we will get back to you quickly with the right answer, the right program for you to fill out and get it.
Second minute before the next segment, and you all have 7 minutes collectively. Bust the move.
Hi everyone, my name is Elaine and I'm the co-founder of Sweet Perfect. Utilizing AI, we are transforming how content creators create high-quality voiceovers in just one shot. Creating professional voiceovers is challenging and time-consuming for content creators like YouTubers, podcasters, and online course creators. It is inefficient to write down the polished script, record, and then correct mistakes. The quality is often unpolished because of the background noise, inconsistent volume, and unclear speech. People with speech disabilities or language barriers face full accessibility, and it is costly to hire someone that is professional to do a voiceover editing. However, with Speed Perfect, content creators can just record, and then within seconds, there will be a very polished script as well as audio output using their own or an AI voice that is ready to be published. And since launch, we have already gained over 100 paying customers, and we see huge potential in this $12.5 billion market. Our team consists of MIT MBAs, software engineers, and designers, bringing in complementary skill sets. We're now seeking for basic round funding as well as industry advisors to help us scale our business. We're also looking for AI specialists and engineers to join our team. Scan the QR code above, try our product, and we would love to hear your feedback. Thank you.
So my name is Elaine, I'm a professor here at MIT, right upstairs, and we are starting a new company that will transform the way that we understand knowledge. Right now, we are caught between a rock and a hard place. On one side, we have Google that basically says, you search anything, it says 300,000 results, found in 0.03 seconds. Here's the first 20 people blocked, and you're missing results. The other 300,000 might as well not be there. On the other hand, we have ChatGPT that basically said, no, here's one answer. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, maybe I have to hallucinate. But you have no way to know what are the other answers. So what we are creating is a system that allows you to theoretically visualize information. If you have those 300,000 results, you can basically see them in a landscape of ideas. So we're providing cartography for ideas, we're allowing navigation search in a contextual way. You can then select the point that you're interested in, select space, and then ask questions about it in a chat way. So we believe this will transform the ability to visualize data directly, to turn text into a quantifiable, clusterable object, to create ontologies automatically, and to enable the search for information to enter a new phase. Right now, we have created data science where humans are left on the outside because we don't have maps to navigate that knowledge. So AI has an advantage in this new space that we have created. It's only by allowing cartography that we can bring humans back to the equation, to visualize this information, search to it in a much more natural way, for something we have evolved for millions of years. So we are mapping this AI from storytelling to general learning.
Hi, my name is Andrew Chang, and I'm founder of American Data Science. We build GPU notebook server platforms. Notebooks are where a lot of data-oriented individuals like data scientists and AI researchers work and develop in iterable environments. So what we do is we provide environments that have pre-configured with all of our GPU compute that is served on our platforms. So these are SDKs and software that support tools that created ChatGPT. And it's funny, I have a serious joke that goes around in social media saying that AGI, general human intelligence, with machines will be founded on a notebook file called Untitled 17. INP. Which is kind of funny, but we're hoping to have someone create that on our platform. So we have over 60 plus environments that support PyTorch, strength, TensorFlow, all these parallel compute SDKs are difficult to configure, but we make it easy to deploy these servers with one click. We've also recently supported over 200 NVIDIA GPUs that are provided by 10 plus different cloud providers on our platform. And what's funny is you kind of generate this primordial soup of bash terminal, a code compiler interpreter, and a file system with these notebook servers. And this all seems like a nice pool of components for our AI agents. So,
I'm Jim Dasa. I'm the CEO of Sales Integrated Platform for Career Entrepreneurship. When I asked my former colleague at DPM as how much software engineering, I'm not a professor. Where I can we can find the engineers to power your companies? There's and I found that my gets I'm sorry. I want to add that sorry. There's this that you know about you never heard about where you might find all your engineers to power your company. And those places, by the time you finish the next 2 years, you have at least 20 million company students brand new. My this year, last year when I started we started this for private engineers. Within 2 weeks, we get 50,000 body graduate looking for engineering job. Instead, we want of their 50% male, 50% women. Right now, we have the pipeline of about 60 million contract now we are certain. And we have a request to get back in components. We need your help. We need your help. We can find the engineers to buy the companies, and we can guarantee the better quality of each of our engineering work that we're doing. We are on our entrepreneurship phase. I'm looking for it.
So, can I get my slides up? Okay, so this is MIT. We're building 32 right behind. Okay, we're in C-Sale. Looks like a crumpled up napkin. Gary designed it. The largest unit at MIT, C-Sale's in this building. We love C-Sale. You just heard all these, I think over 55, a few people overslept, but close to 60. It's wise. Today, the second part of the program is all these speakers. If you're one of the speakers, stand up. I saw Andrew Lowe's right here. We're the speakers. Stand up. Oh, Andre, stand up, stand up, stand up. If you're one of the speakers, stand up. So these are remarkable people. All these talks, if they want, are going to go on Forbes. Forbes gets 55 million views a month. And they ain't seen nothing like the talks from MIT. It's mostly like shoving matches with politics or like economic stuff. I am so proud that we're going to bring this content to that unique world. Every speaker is going to get a photograph out there by Catherine Taylor. Answer low. If you need someone here that you want to collaborate with, or you like Andre, any of you, bring them into a photo and get a group shot. That content is very important. At noon, all the startups that were down here, Startup Valley, everyone go meet as many startups as you can. I also want to point out that this guy, Andrew, William Barton Rogers, was in charge of surveying Virginia back in the 1850s. He was really frustrated. He couldn't find anyone to survey. The people weren't skilled to help him. So this is a letter he wrote to his brother. He said, hey, why don't we start an institute to train people to respond to the Industrial Revolution? And at the time, Boston was filling in the Back Bay. We said, let's put the crown jewel institutions right in the Back Bay. And Governor Andrew Keystop gave the money to build this building. This is the first MIT campus. William Barton Rogers was the founder. And these were the first 6 courses. They actually flipped 1 and 2 more recently, but it was to produce people. They weren't doing research then to react to the moment. And these were some of those people. Women were also included. And one of the professors was teaching acoustics, and this is Alexander Graham Bell, came and he wasn't technical, but he hung out with technical people at MIT, and that's to get the patent for the telephone. Now, MIT was in downtown Boston, but it was losing. It was too many Charlies were making too much noise, and people said, "Where should we go?" Someone had the idea of building an island in the Charles River. This is true, and putting MIT there. Didn't happen. And Chicago alumni at MIT said, "No, come out to. You could be MIT in Chicago." It never happened, as you all know. MIT got built, and it was 22 buildings. And Eastman Kodak, Bill Gates of his era, gave $2.5 million anonymously to build the buildings, and all the different disciplines were connected. And I think that's one of the really secret things to MIT. And today, you as an audience connect with these speakers and bump and connect. And this street out here is similar to the Infinite Corridor at MIT. And when this building was dedicated in 1916, it was a big deal. And MIT folks are awesome. They celebrated that new building by getting 1,500 people in Symphony Hall and all on a telephone. And they got clubs all around the world. This is the first Zoom call before Zoom. And I say all this because the Industrial Revolution was one revolution. Right now, we're in an AI revolution. And this imagination action teamed up with the great Daniela Bruce, we want to create that platform, kind of like what it was 150 years ago. I want to tell 2 quick thoughts. This was a hockey puck type device that the British created. They didn't know what to do with it. They brought it here. This became the Rad Lab. There's Vandermeer Bush. This was instrumental. They built Building 20, which we're on. That was a key technology that not only set precedent for research at MIT for the next 75 years, but also helped in a big way for World War II. The space race to make sure we didn't miss the moon. Charles Stark Draper, as in Tony Stark was inspired by this guy, created telemetry to make sure we didn't miss the moon for the space race. A guy named Bob Metcalf, who is part of Daniela's team now, he said, let's connect computers. Minsky, was on this campus. That's my son. He's now turning 21 tomorrow. But Minsky is the guy who coined the term AI. And I said, why did you do that in 1955? He said, because I wanted the military to think this was scary and give me money. I could have called it a BR. He's dead, so I can't double confirm that. But he did tell me that when I was with my son. Now, for a long time, this neighborhood has been winning the Stanley Cup of biotech. So much so that Phil Sharp was offered the MIT presidency and he accepted it. And then the next day he said, you know what? No, I don't want it because I might get a Nobel Prize and I got to do a lot of stuff in life sciences. And so that's why Charles the Paul out there, he became the long president. I say all this because AI is upon us. AI is amazing. AI has challenges and we need leaders to kind of help bridge that moment. Who thinks they're a leader that can help bridge that moment? All right. So we do 3 events, one in Davos. In this 56,000 square foot dome. And in that dome, not only do we, I'm going back to slide, not only do we on stage like world leaders, we have these tech demos in the back. And it's the only not pay for play venue. We have 12 an hour, 12 every 90 minutes, all day, 72 tech demos. And some of you might want to do that. And you just fly to Zurich for like $2,000 from Boston, $100 on the train to Davos. You walk up the hill, and if you're on our list, we'll let you in. And we love to kind of do great things there. That's in January. That's Daniela interviewing 2,500. Then we do in April this business event. We had Sam Altman and others. We just did it with 4 tracks. It was crazy, like Lollapalooza, like Woodstock going on. And then this was Daniela's brainchild. Last year, computer science was 60 years in MIT. And she said, let's get 60 of the best principal investigators on her team. And let's get them all to give talks. And let's put it all on Forbes. And we did. And her talk got 150,000 views immediately. And we're going to do that again. And a lot of interesting people showed up for those events. And here are the startups from last year. Now, I wanted to point out that this bridge was controversial in 1793. At Harvard, the brain trust said, we can't have that bridge because it's going to corrupt our students. It's kind of funny to read this. This is the bridge to Charles River Bridge. We need to bridge AI training people. And I think the next Google could be 2 people that meet here. There are $1 trillion companies to be made, and there's a lot of good that needs to happen from figuring out this moment. Who can tell which is the real Daniela Roos? Okay, Danielle was awesome. When Mitski passed away, she was one of the keynote. This is a photograph of his living room. This is I kind of blurred the background. These are some of her top secret notes. She greets her students in this building in addition to being a world-class leader and doing lots of business. She has friends. This is her counterpart at Harvard. Here she's interviewing in this room with the president of Microsoft. Here I am with her and big blended with the head of Tony, the MIT of Germany. She's amazing. I'd like to welcome Danielle Roos to welcome you all. This is the DNA of the provision, ladies and gentlemen, the Danielle Roos.
Hello, I just want to welcome you to CCEL Imagination in Action. This is our second event to which is aligned with our anniversary. Last year was our 60th anniversary. This year I spent to just 61 talks over is that a bit much. And so but we actually did hit 61 talks as a combination of technical talks, which you will hear throughout the day today, and the startup presentations that were between 7 and 9 this morning. So CSEP started in 1963. And the big dream back then was for two people to use the same computer at the same time. That is the CS part of our name, computer science. And so to me, it's absolutely extraordinary that in 61 short years, we have gone from thinking about two people using computers that were as big as this room to a world where everyone computes. Really, we have completely democratized computing. Now, in parallel with the dream of building a time-sharing computer in the 1960s, we also had the dream of building intelligent machines. And this started with Marvin Minsky and his friends who in 1956 gathered together at Dartmouth College to think deeply about what a world with more capable machines might look like, and what might be the most important next academic field of study. And so they spent a month hiking and having wonderful meals and no doubt drinking good wine. And when they came out of the woods, they essentially told the world that they had coined a new academic field of study called artificial intelligence, which was about the science and engineering of making machines with human-like characteristics in how they move in the world, how they play games, how they see the world, even how they learn. And so this community, CCEL, has been on a path to make a transformational, to build transformational outcomes for AI and for computer science ever since. Did you know that the first picture of the Ethernet was drawn right here at CCEL by Bob Metcalf before he graduated and started his company? Also, the first computer vision system, the first voice system, the first language translation systems, the first speech system, the first electronic kiosk. These are all concepts that were pioneered by our researchers here. Even the first video phone was prototyped here at CCEL. And so we're very excited. We're a community of researchers who really want to invent the future of computing and make the world better through computing. And today, AI is on top of all of our minds. And we are so focused on thinking about how to make AI systems better, how to make them more capable, how to make them do more for us. And you will hear from a number of our researchers about all that today. So welcome. Have a great day. Make some friends, and I hope you enjoy getting immersed in our program today.
So by the way, some people met with Sally, the president of MIT, about what is MIT doing with AI, and I got like 6 referrals from her. So 6 of you in the audience she referred. So thank you. This is the video that I want to play. It just celebrates the Davos event.
It's always great to be here with big ideas, explore the cross sections, smart people, and the goal of changing the world.
One thing that's special about Davos is you have so many of the world's
thought leaders, so many of the world's literal leaders, and these are folks who can make positive change, and we want to be part of that.
We want to see AI not just chatting with us, but we want to see AI building new types of medical diagnosis systems, building sustainable mobility systems for our world so that we can advance our cities and our futures.
We have seen misinformation campaigns spread through different media. And I think we have not seen a change in the business model of these platforms, which is sort of micro-targeting different types of people based on categories that are created via massive amounts of surveillance data. What you need is a radical change to the surveillance business model that is right now at the heart of the tech industry.
It was almost the heartbeat of Davos, of the World Economic Forum.
It was a place where the great minds came together.
This is incredibly special that we are at the official, unofficial event for MIT.
It is not because an entity is intelligent that it wants to dominate or that it is necessarily dangerous. It can solve problems, you can set the goals for it, and you will fulfill those goals. And the idea that somehow the system is going to come up with, its own goals and take over humanity is just preposterous.
The US intelligence community is now going to identify when they see campaigns using these deep fakes. And it shows both how significant the concerns are for the integrity of our democracy, but it also means that people like journalists, academics, civil society leaders do not have the same kind of information. And so I think we need to also make sure that more people are empowered to put that.
I feel that tech was worth, but individual people further back we need more. I know my AI is worth be so that we have to have the data infrastructures for that. It's the experience of a school kid in whatever part of the world you can influence. This has been improved by AI, by all these technologies since last year. If you're now outside that metric, ask yourself what you're doing.
All right, so Daniela is going to introduce our first speaker. I also want to pass around the Celtics Encyclopedia, celebrate the Celtics, and the 1924 MIT yearbook to remind you of where the next 100 years are going, to appreciate where the last 100 years we've come from. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker, Daniela, who is it?
So I'm excited to introduce my colleague, Professor Adam Kibala, who specializes in systems. This is a very important area because as we imagine, as we think about deploying AI systems in the physical world, we really want to make sure that they do what they're intended to do. And techniques to make sure that our system.
Next few slides, moving on.
Yep, they're going to pull up your slide.
I can start a little bit here.
It's up.
Most people, when they hear the word AI, they think about machine learning or statistical math in general. But of course, there's an older experience. Just airing on normal methods where we want to do mathematical proofs. So where actually there's quite a lot going on already, but a lot of people think of it as kind of and also building to be verified. computers today in web browsers. And systematic function like testing and debugging can make a big difference. And so so imperfect process we have is the system to do what this to do. You're gonna go there, and things like that. Now, I requests from the network, asking you to do clean out. And negative the reverse too. And an algorithm that exactly what it's supposed to do here. And it's pretty big. We built and improved the processor. We have a C-line software programming language, and then there's the application software, the device. Then these separate there are interesting questions that come up in that kind of effort. So, avoid bugs that arise only in the integration process or each piece individually by go to do it that way. That pieces in the middle of the picture don't need to be managed to carry out this proof. You caught any your processor or your machine code format or your software. That there can't be any bug. We
different kind of case study more recently than just more. So we built out a formally verified background important standard graphic primitives for the internet. You will like a garage and as like that after open the garage door, but it uses the grip around the don't stop further, go that makes them prove it process higher level languages to produce then speech and get plugged together into one group that says one native code image. So this implement exactly this protocol. And and that down code rejection vulnerability. Right? After consent if you it can't possibly be vulnerable to code ingestion vulnerability if it first defended against the most common and
a very important
on the silver that here before further along the scheme list. They are as sensitive as those sensitive to the information. Because anybody or anyone without ever knowing and saying, hey, whatever someone say this particular incorrect piece of information. I think that's there are very specific methods that people try. There are no very language model that has access to information that perhaps so the solution is that we're the information that users should have access to. And that's the information that I control that. Well, do so is to do what's called fine tuning. Take a model that a few fractions of percent size of the full model. You down the touch, then extract it from the model. We're not moving forward anymore. Controller is improved.
Okay.
Oh, secure components. Combine only what is supposed to have access to. And there are countless methods to this today. It basically doesn't work at all. So this and people have access to certain databases. Well, it turns out the database like after you discover you prove today that the US government has the database covered, etc. That on its own is, that's like the sort of thing that requires access. Startups today is quite popular. For answers. So you might say, what happened with the space? Well, the answers from the database that I know about. Different components of networks, or even different networks that security applications. And that's because they're tuned for all the trained networks to apply skills like trust. And it turns out that security applications just have a different mathematical structure than us. And so what we do is specific operators that allow you to combine together activity. 100% of the performance of your original model. Finds it to me. So you do lots of tricks on it. Then the silos of the document. Particular users should have. Maps to access files and starting to find alone. You know, there's some things that you've never had before. So it's exactly the same technology. security of a particular conversation since the students. So one tool is I'll talk about right now. But that's not I would have certain applications on. Here's the email. Give me the secret. We need to turn this into an attacker. We can say that flow through this network and tell me which we're going to have to do is patient data. But information about release an email from say one of the doctors or nurses to the information stolen, and we just don't have it. Let's take on some perspective. For example, if all you do is what it thinks about that information, how likely it is. No. Small system information.
So. Each one of these diseases has an erasing the disease from this life. Stage clinical trials that are doing the same thing. Correct. Gene. So stay tuned. The next coming back to the generation, heart disease, diabetes, and so on. The doctors didn't understand the tree. You were pretty much out. Genomics, epigenomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, all of these different in some populations based on their genetic sequences and treat the disease.
the new age of divide and conquer, the age of gentleness. Last news is there is one bonus that's been a bottleneck to this problem is quite challenging. So I'm talking about egos. Diseases that we know of. In fact, there are over 30 million Americans, not so rare. In which, because of the gene therapy and gene editing tools that scientists have developed, we higher prices you can charge, lower development costs, higher success, all that generate many therapies of cures while at the same time. So, between 300 million and 10 to 20 rare disease development programs are. Now, there's one very important financial property, and that is lack of. It turns out that different one. And as a result, students that rate. These are diseases, and there's so few people around the world.
Expect chart. Stable. And what the life
start and in a way, having 34% of your code. Then to no. Without and a million sounds, right? The one was producing a million words. One of those comes out. So not necessarily as impressive, unless the course recognize that a uniform, if anything at all, that a system to be able to solve one of these problems, learn 34% of them, I would have been quite skeptical. So there's no question. Some creating power in these models. But one thing that's important is that these models are not like real programs. And in particular, when we look at real people who write code, their ability to solve complex programming problems implies a certain set of skills that as a person can't solve a challenging programming problem. It can't read and understand code, for example. It can't solve a challenging and debug it if there's something wrong with it. Or even if you can't stare at a piece of code for a little while and say, oh, yeah, there's a mistake. This LLM can also solve these complex programming problems. They must have the same capabilities. And so, can the models actually understand simple behavior? I have been to participate in the led by students at schools. And one question we asked was, can you take simple pieces of code that small can never see and just ask them to figure out the output is going to be given some inputs? And it's surprised at the times they even that you wouldn't necessarily expect from a first year program, right? For a condition and condition satisfied in order to produce and out. But the thing that's is before, despite the fact that it makes these incredibly unexpected errors, is actually way better than pretty much every other model we try. It's even to be at parity with GPT-4 when it comes to a lot of programming scale effect. And this task of similarly with the question of AI debug code. We've seen a lot of anecdotal evidence of people saying, well, yeah, pretty the wrong code, but then I go and I come to them, hey, this code was wrong, it failed this test, and the system comes back and fixes it, right? Lastly, we can do it. The models need to be able to do it too. But when you look at the question, first to ask, how do we know it's actually debugging the code or that it's actually good? So maybe baseline errors. What happens to just ask the model for instructions to generate another solution? Maybe you just roll the die, got the wrong answer. Then you roll the die again and get the right answer the next time. Right. And so we actually explored this in some detail at a very high level. What we found was, for example, for GPT 3.5, this is especially with regards to ChatGPT. If you look at these normalized by how much it costs to actually draw the samples, to just roll the dice again and see if it gets something that works. With GPT-4, it's a little bit of an improvement, but we're talking about 22%. One of the things that was in case is that it seems to be the ability of the model to recognize where the problem is, right? In fact, we use a more powerful
to recognize what a problem is. And actually perform better compared to the base. But here's what actually research. If instead of having a market, tell what's wrong with the curve. You have a service there, so and tell them what's wrong with the curve. It's not to solve the problem. I think this goes as part of the way to explain why when you are calculating these models in the but yeah, then we find incredible productivity. Like I think we're not just letting the code go and make some decision. We're using ask for an expert who can actually reach the code and actually work with. Right. And understand identify it. To tell but it turns it from what you there. And so what I think here is language models are really different from human programmers. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to see dramatic productivity improvements, right? But what the right code and any other the only thing we need are skilled experts, right? You don't need other material input. You don't need, you know, so absolutely, we could do very well with 10 times as much. Oh, as an actually best in building so thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.
So, Michael, let's tell us about how much we can rely on our co-pilots. So what should we rely on our co-pilots for?
So they're really good at helping you not have to things that you already know how to do, but they're lengthy and take a certain amount of care to make sure that we wrote all the details and we wrote everything there. When it comes to actually planning, when it comes to actually conceptual, what is it? And what is it that what is the functionality that should actually be there when it comes to the detailed work of getting but still need that level of expertise to actually get into the finish.
So we can use LLMs to generate boilerplate code, basically. That's
example, you're writing some code and you know you need something that kind of looks like that first server, but that runs on your new data structure. You already know what that first fact have seen it as absolutely not. First, look, I know how to adapt it to your data structure. You just need to be careful. That's where you're getting this actually correct thing.
so if I describe the solution to my problem in very, very great detail. Even if it's a completely new problem that nobody has addressed before. So let's say even code base.
Sometimes it's once you have a lot of the information there, it's a much easier problem. It's a very different problem from the problem of having to figure out from scratch what the structure of code should be and what the algorithm should be to solve a problem. So it's much effective at those kind of tasks that figuring from scratch for.
So my question at random. Let's suppose I'm a startup entrepreneur and I'm building a team. I need to put my team needs to write a lot of code. And so what advice would you give me about trying to empower my team?
Very beginning, I think this right. So that's here. That traditional because they can give productivity. But it's precisely through this tool how to leverage that and how to become around their there have been studies how perhaps change the behavior working with it. They tried minutes they have writing code themselves that are maybe not that useful for a human being code that's help them actually give them the code. So the more experience I'm working with this, I think that would be a collaborative.
But could this be too much reliance for the programmers? How can we empower them without over reliance, without the pitfall of making I rely too much on the AI?
I think right now the tools are still at a stage where unless we have absolute quality control and absolutely no regard for the